While the main plot of the Torah portions last week, this week, and next week is Joseph's being sold into slavery, his meteoric rise to power in Egypt, and his final reconciliation with his brothers, there are also subplots that run throughout the narrative. One of which is, who will take the mantle of leadership in the family after Jacob? This isn't a simple question because Reuven, of course, is the eldest, the natural leader. But he's forfeited his rights. First he sleeps with his father's concubine. Then he fails to prevent Joseph's sale. Now in this week's Parashat Miketz, when they're discussing whether Benjamin should accompany the brothers to Egypt to buy grain, he swears to his father, "You can kill my 2 sons if I don't bring Benjamin back safely." Now, this kind of rash and ridiculous statement just reconfirms what we already know about Reuven. He's not appropriate. Shimon and Levi, the second and third sons, have also shown themselves incapable when they dispatched the entire city of Shechem in order to defend the honor of Dinah, their sister, and brought shame on Jacob and on his family. So this leaves us with Judah, the fourth son, who's hardly a default choice. We see him as he develops, first persuading his brothers rather than kill Joseph to sell him into slavery. His powers of persuasion show us that they already see him as their leader. Then he goes with Tamar, his daughter-in-law. She tricks him into sleeping with him. But then he realizes afterwards that she was right and he was in the wrong. And so we see an ethical development, growth in Judah. Then in this week's Parsha, we see a mature Judah. Rather than Reuven's ridiculous statement, he simply tells the plain truth to his father. If we don't go with Benjamin, we'll all die of starvation. I'll be his guarantor. I'll be accountable for what happens to him. And this mature and responsible statement is what convinces Jacob. And so Judah's already established himself as the family leader, and now he has to confront Joseph, a man far more powerful and perhaps talented than he is. And yet he successfully does so, and in the beginning of the next Parsha, brings him to confess his own identity and to come to grips with himself. So the brothers are reconciled. The main plot has ended, but the subplot continues. For example, when it's time to resettle in Goshen in Egypt, who's sent ahead to prepare the land and to set up things for the brothers? None other than Judah. This shows that the whole family and all the brothers trust him. Now, the first readers of this Joseph narrative and this Judah narrative were from the tribe of Judah, which was in constant conflict with, of course, the tribes of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh in the north. And 2,800 years ago, the readers of this narrative could really identify with the character of Judah, and it resonated with them. And yet it resonates also for us today in the same way, because here in Judah we see the example of a leader. First, a leader has powers of persuasion. Second, a leader has to undergo ethical growth and maturation. Third, that maturity has to come with the ability to speak the plain truth, and sometimes a difficult truth, to followers. And fourth, he has to be able to confront adversaries, defeat them, and even sometimes reconcile with them. And finally, he's someone that everybody trusts as fair. And so we have the example of Judah, a true leader. And when we elect leaders, we look at those qualities: trust, persuasion, the ability to confront, the ability to tell the truth, the ability to be ethical. These are the qualities that Judah, the forebearer of the Jewish people, possessed. May we elect leaders today who reflect these wonderful qualities of leadership. Shavua Tov from Schechter.